everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
And I'm Tommy.
To all you Regs, welcome back to the podcast. To all you Shinies, welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast. Please, before we begin, if you haven't already, follow us on all of our social media. Links are in the description below. That is Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We don't have a Facebook. If you see us on Facebook, it's not us. And if you want to go above and beyond to support the podcast, make sure that you're supporting us on Patreon. Link is also in the description below. Every month we do a giveaway for those in the Gungan Bust here on Patreon. And just today we gave away the Jon Favreau figure, HasCon, Comic-Con, whatever con exclusive figure to one of our lucky patrons. Congratulations to who won. And if you want to join an amazing community of Star Wars fellas, make sure that you join the Discord link is also in the description below.
Facts. That's basically, I mean, that's tremendously fact. Guys, and if you want merch, Teespring, go check it out. Maybe that's a good Christmas gift for your sweet babu in your life. You just want to get someone some 1313 fire merch designed by yours truly, Jacob. It's actually, yeah.
And also,
you want to be a cool kid.
It works really good at Jackson's flashing us. It also works really good at keeping your moobs warm in the cold months.
Very true.
We got hoodies, we got tanks, we got stickers.
Shout out to Hunter Schultz and Stuck in Carbonite for buying merch from us.
But
without further ado, we have how's everybody doing? What's new? What's going on?
I'm gonna kill Jackson.
My man is the heat miser right now. Your hair is
I'm
flared
Mr.
up.
Heat Blister. I'm Mr. Sun.
Remember when Mr. You-know-who did that? Okay, never mind. We'll say the name. When he did that for school and whatnot.
That was a lot of fun to watch.
That was a lot of
fun. It was like really fun
good.
for like the first minute and a half, and then I started getting real cringe because he just kept going. I was like, oh, he's still going.
It's alright, bro. It is what it is, you know?
Shout out to Mr. Lash.
You do you, man. One of my favorite mentors.
You know what we got to do?
Wake up!
It's the first of the month! As of recording this.
Yes.
And you know what it is? December 1st, it is no longer November. So, fellas, you know what to do.
How happy day. Oh, happy day. I'm not a rule follower. Anyways, so, in news, I have a couple things here. So, I'm done with my Commander Blitz, pretty much. So, you're going to see pictures this weekend. And I'm gonna shamelessly plug it. You're going to see it on both my Instagram pages, both 1313 Tommy and wait for it, 1313 Tommy's collection on Instagram. I'm going to have posts. I'm going to be trooping with my dad for the 501st at a Toys for Tots event with the Marine Corps as well. It's going to be a great time. I'm super stoked to participate with my dad in this thing that has been something I've always wanted to be a part of.
You definitely wanted me to change my handle to 1313 Jackson, but somebody already has that.
What? 1313 _ Jackson?
Yeah, that's already taken.
Who has that?
It's some random dude on Instagram. I'm not even joking.
If you look
I'm going to message him and take it from him.
If you look on TikTok under 1313, there's lots of Indian content.
That's true.
Like Middle Eastern content.
Yep.
It is an Indian guy, actually.
Because 1313 is a holy number or like a lucky number. So I remember I gave this guy at the skating rink, I gave him skates number 13 just for podcast. And he goes, "This is my lucky number!" He yanked them out of my hands. I was like, okay.
That's facts, bro.
Tremendously facts.
And then
we like the number 13 here.
We do. Why though? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. And then another thing I just wanted to say, this was super cool. So right now, all of the Apple Music and Spotify like replays are coming out. And SWC Doodles posted on her social media that we were her #1 listened to podcast on Spotify. And when I tell you, that almost brought a tear to my eye to know that we were the #1 listened to podcast for somebody over all the other podcasts out there. That made my day. It made my week.
Yes.
And I've been gushing about it.
I told everybody in my class, and I guarantee about only 1% of them actually cared. So,
that is a hard flex to be like, people actually listen to us all the time.
And then the best part was she said that not only does she listen to them on Spotify, she goes back and watches them a second time on YouTube too.
Shout out to you, Doodles.
Yeah.
We need to download the Spotify creators thing so we can see how many minutes we have listened to.
Yeah.
Oh, that is right, actually, because we can do that.
Yeah. Very exciting stuff. So, yeah, everybody, it's a good plug. We are on Spotify. We're on Anchor. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
We got
all that
video
good
on
stuff.
Spotify.
Yes.
Fun fact, someone at the Erie Comic-Con asked me if we were on iHeartRadio, and I was like, no, we're actually not. And I looked into doing that through Anchor, and every time I get to iHeartRadio and try to set up the connection, it won't load the page.
Weird.
So just so everybody knows, I have tried to get us into iHeartRadio, but Anchor is not working with me. So I haven't tried in a couple weeks. I'm going to try again tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But yeah,
that is kind of odd.
Aside from that, though, I mean, that's all I got for what's new with me.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be done with this semester.
Yep, semester's
Oh,
done in 2 weeks.
Starting next semester, I've actually I'm in talks of joining the Edinburgh Radio.
Oh, cool.
And
Did you do your thingy
what thingy?
interview, meet up, the
Oh.
thingy this week?
I couldn't because I forget what I had to get my project done, my drawing project done that day. I think, and I also think that we were recording something that night. It was the Have a Chat episode.
It was the Have a Chat.
Okay.
So
Shout out to Dave Ruins Art. Everybody go check out that Have a Chat,
yes. Also,
which is
make
right
sure
here in the corner.
Dave Ruins Art. The Have a Chat's up there in the corner. Also, he's selling some calendars with some amazing artwork in it. Make sure if you like thrifted paintings with Star Wars and like Lord of the Rings crossovers, make sure that you go buy a print, buy a calendar. Help the guy out. It's Christmas season.
It's one of those things that's a very tasteful nerd thing to have. You know, you don't have to have the big Star Wars characters on your calendar at work. You can now have a very tasteful looking calendar with some beautiful artwork.
But going back to the radio thing, so I'll hopefully be doing that, and then I was told that you can do like separate like kind of like music shows on the air. So I was hoping I could host like Headbangers Hour for like nothing but metal music in the local area, but they also do live podcasts, and I asked about possibly doing a 1313 live like on radio, and they said it was a possibility that we'd be able to do it.
Dude.
So I didn't mention that you guys were not students of Edinburgh, but we won't do that.
I'm totally a student of Edinburgh.
Totally. I've been going there 5 years.
No, I definitely think that'd be super cool if we actually had something on like local airwaves.
Yeah, I'm an alumni. I used to play for the hockey team.
Dave
Yeah, my name is Dave.
No way.
Filoni.
Yep. Hate to break it to you guys, but you know, I don't know.
You're a lot shorter than I thought.
Huh?
How tall is Dave Filoni?
Let's find out. I'm sure it's somewhere on
He's got to
there.
be.
He's got to be.
5'7"
How tall
to
is
that.
Dave Filoni?
Let's find out. These are the questions that need answered.
Taller than Jacob.
I don't think we
He's
get
only
to
48.
know. Born June 7th.
Oh, 7 days before me.
It's a Gemini.
Shut up.
Her
I wish I
slay
knew.
queen.
I wish I
Body
knew.
type, average height, not known. Hair color,
Damn.
black. Eye
Dang.
color, black.
Actually,
Body
I could.
type,
Wait. My father has met him. I could ask him.
Oh,
College, Edinburgh University.
Watch this. Making a phone call.
okay.
He's making a call. Is Dave Filoni
Watch him
married?
not pick up.
How tall is Dave Filoni? Do you think? He was shorter than you? Maybe my height? Oh, 5'8" king? Okay, cool.
5'8".
All right, I'm on the
kid.
podcast right now. Do you want to say hello? Okay, give me 2 seconds. This is Commander Bly on the phone. Go ahead.
Hey, greetings.
Yep. He's probably enjoying some dinner right now after a hard day's work. Hey, I also put those gloves on the table for you.
Oh, listen, guys.
cool.
Tommy put the
Listen.
All right,
gloves
I'll see you
on
then.
the table. Gloves
What
are
gloves?
on the table.
What are the gloves for?
The gloves are on the
For
table.
my
I thought the
Commander
gloves
Bly-
didn't
Commander
fit.
Blitz.
So therefore, we're supposed to equip.
That is totally factual.
Anywho,
That is the whole reason why I want a Ford Bronco, just so I can commit any crime I want and get away with it.
they brought back the Ford Bronco.
Yeah,
I know, and
Looks cool.
They have the Ford Bronco, but they have the same. It's the guts of the Ford Bronco, but they put it on the classic body that you can buy, and I want it so bad.
It's such a cash grab for them.
I know, and I want to get it and just get a flag. I have my flag that says "The juice is loose" and has OJ running from the police.
I gave one of my roommates in college that flag for Christmas.
Jackson gave me that one
Yeah.
for Christmas one
The
time,
juice is
and I
loose.
thought it was so funny. and
My parents
were
are like, that is not funny. That is not funny.
Just
And
like
I was
how they-
like, it is.
It was so funny. And then I went and I watched the entire chase. Like, it was like 2 hours long, and it's like 15 miles per hour. Dude, this has nothing to do with anything. I passed a wide load on the highway, and it was an entire turbine like wing for like a windmill.
Yeah, I've seen
Dude,
those.
like literally,
Those things
it
are
was like
huge.
it was as thick as this room.
Yeah,
like
dude.
it was ginormous.
Yeah.
And the way that they were hauling it was pretty sick because it like wasn't laid on anything. It had like the semi, and then they had like a separate like wheelie do that hooked onto it. I was like, dang, bro, one pebble and that.
About to have a what's the movie where the logs fall off the truck and all the people die on the highway?
Dude, what?
There's a movie
Exact-
and it's like
It's like Final Destination. or
Final
something.
it's something like that. I don't remember.
Never
what-
heard of it.
They showed it when I was in the academy and they were like, yeah, stuff like this could happen, but probably not.
Mhm.
But you got to be prepared for anything.
Damn.
And there was a Stady escorting them, and they were being very rude.
Stadies being rude.
That's like
That's
their
totally
entire-
not in
that's-
character for them.
That's like their entire job.
Anyways.
Is that an expired registration sticker? Woo!
Woo! All right, drop them.
Drop your pants.
All right.
Cup check. Anyways, so now that we've done our thing that we do now, which is probably my favorite part of the show now, wasting all of your time, the first about 10 minutes of the show. It's the most entertaining part for us.
The viewer
because
count going.
No, bro, because listen,
No,
like
people enjoy it. People seem to enjoy it.
again,
Or-
people
or
watch the
lollygagging.
podcast for us. They don't watch it just for Star Wars.
It's like how when you listen and or watch Rex on Around, there's about an hour of them talking about whatever they feel like and about 20 minutes of Star Wars talk.
20 is being generous.
It's like the last 5 minutes.
But it's
they're talking-
entertaining.
But that's what makes it entertaining, you know? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
agree.
And with that, let's now talk about Star Wars.
Okay.
So there is one piece
For
of Star
approximately
Wars
5 minutes.
news that came out today, as of recording this, maybe a few hours ago,
Oh, yeah.
at the Brazil Comic-Con.
That's a
John
thing?
Favreau and
guess.
Pedro Pascal went on stage and we're talking about, you know, with the Star Wars panel, tons of new projects. We got rehashes of the trailers for Ahsoka, Bad Batch, for all these shows. And there was the announcement that, yes, indeed, The Mandalorian Season 3 is coming out early 2023, but earlier than we anticipated. It's now going to debut its first episode on Wednesday, March 1st.
Whoa!
So, what do we think about that, guys?
Very cool. I wish it was on Fridays, though.
Yeah, me too. I
It
miss
won't,
Mando Fridays.
But that's still good that it's coming earlier. So then if it's in March, I could assume because Skeleton Crew and Ahsoka are the two other shows slated for that
Is
year.
Skeleton Crew slated to come out next year?
Yep.
That was one of the things that Figure
Tough.
Brown was posting.
Tough.
I think Ahsoka would be the like August show. Or maybe
I'm
even
hyped. I'm so hyped.
and Skeleton Crew will be the end of the year show, maybe.
I think it might be the other way around, unless they've already given out official release dates.
That's at least the order he put it in.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about Lucasfilm, Mbiamba Jones got his trailer revealed. I am so utterly excited for that. I'm gonna go to that movie
Alabama Smith.
with my little cosplay with my gun. No, that sounded very bad.
Terroristic threats are not
Terroristic
condoned by the 1313 podcast
See, I was-
under any circumstance.
I was trying to make it sound like a revolver. Like how
Jacob
Indiana
really said,
Jones
like,
had,
guys,
but
we're gonna go back in time to Colorado.
I'm not talking about the Dark Knight. I'm not talking about.
Oh, that's incriminating. I am not with him.
That was
we
a bad
just-
joke. I
I learned
rewind
about
it.
that in class.
Make out a bullwhip. Whoosh, no gun, just bullwhip.
Yeah, the trailer looked dope.
Yeah, I'm
I
very
also saw a
excited.
trailer for Transformers Beast Wars today. That was cool. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I watched the trailer, and the guy that plays the new main character, the new Shia LaBeouf, is the guy that plays John Lawrence in Hamilton, and I couldn't see it anything else than that. So yeah, so
That's
that's
funny.
fun. I saw the trailer, and to be honest, I don't know if this is like a continuation of like the Michael Bay movies, if this is like a
No,
different
so-
universe, or
so-
is this the Bumblebee universe?
So get this. Here's where I'm at. So the Michael Bay movies, generally, people think they sucked because they just lacked story elements. Optimus Prime was not in character at all. Optimus Prime doesn't kill people, and Optimus Prime would just murder people in the Michael Bay films. That's not what he was about. And the Autobots in general did not kill people. So these new movies are, and there's actually a TV show called War for Cybertron. I'll make this quick. This is like, I'm a closeted Transformers fan.
And stay that way.
I know. And so, are you shaming me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so basically all this is kind of like a reboot, and they're going back to the more true Generation 1 Transformers designs, like the original cartoon designs, and people are absolutely just eating it up, and the storytelling is a million times better. And so it started with Bumblebee, and Bumblebee's the only one who still has his same design from the Michael Bay films, but all the other ones are designed as their Gen 1 appearances. So this movie is like a great way to bring in new characters and stuff. And that's all I'm going to say, because now I still want to talk about The Mandalorian.
Yes.
I saw the trailer. I thought it looked all right. I like the gorilla.
Optimus Primal is his name.
Harambe.
Harambe.
I'll go see it with you, Tommy. I'll go.
Well, we have to
Harambe.
watch Bumblebee first, because that's
Okay.
actually really good. It actually has Kate Bishop is the main character in Bumblebee. So
Now I'm definitely gonna watch it.
that's facts.
You gotta chill, bro.
Bro, have you seen Kate Bishop outside Cape? Have you seen her Instagram, bro?
No.
Where does Marvel find these women? Where does Marvel find these women? They got
Get your man.
these women.
Get your man.
Oh, she fawns over Tom Holland. I want to hear it. Marvel just knows where to pick them. I don't know how.
So The Mandalorian, real quick, just to wrap that up. So I did the math. Bad Batch Season 2, as far as we know, is 16 episodes, just like Season 1. The first 2 episodes are getting aired on January 4th.
Okay.
And so then it's going to go for 15 weeks. After the 8th week, Mandalorian and Bad Batch will release on the same day for like 7-ish weeks. And then the Mandalorian finale will air by itself.
Oh.
So we had talked about last year when we thought Andor and Bad Batch were going to come out at the same time. We were going to do 2 podcast
I would
episodes a
have
week.
rathered that.
What I was talking to Jackson about, and obviously this is not a on-air conversation, but we were saying like maybe doing our Bad Batch discussion with our main weekly episode, just because it's shorter episodes, there's less probably to talk about, and then giving the Mandalorian its own episode each week.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know if you guys have input, what you want us to do, because I'm certainly not going to be able to sit here for 7 weeks in a row and for 2 hours and talk about Mando and Bad Batch in depth. And
that's not going to be worth
We'll
it.
pull a good mythical morning and we'll split it all up.
dude, I don't know why that always bothers me when people do that. Like when
I
they
remember-
make part 2s and of the.
I remember when
recording.
I watched them like in middle school, like religiously.
So did my sister.
I watched them every single morning, and then they went into this new season where they literally chopped up the show and they did like different. Instead of doing like one good segment, they like took like 3 or 4 and they made 3 or 4 different videos that would come out throughout the day.
What?
It was terrible, and I think it was so horribly received they went back to the old format.
feeding that algorithm.
Dang.
Well, yeah, it was right at the peak of like Good Mythical Morning's kind of height, so they really just cashed in on it right then. And
4 videos in a day, though?
there was like one recording session. Each video was like 5 to 10 minutes.
Dude.
But now they
God.
post like one video that's like maybe at 20 minutes at most, and it's like I started watching them again actually.
Yeah, they're
Like,
much more. They grew with their audience. They like grew up
Yes.
with their audience.
That's
Okay.
the problem that I have with like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. I watched them a ton as a kid, and I can't watch them now because they didn't
it's
grow.
cringe.
All right, I'm
They
gonna just
didn't grow
say
their
it. I'm
audience.
gonna say it, guys. And I know you already know what I might say here. I still watch Markiplier's Let's Plays of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise.
That's
Well,
different.
okay.
Okay,
we
you feel like
watched-
that's different? Okay.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because that's like going back and watching something from your child. It's the same thing as going back and watching the Clone Wars.
Yep,
it's
that's
something
true.
from your childhood
true.
that you enjoyed, and you're just going back and watching it. I'm
I
talking
just
about
watched the Citadel arc today, and
Mm.
I still get sad when
Citadel.
Echo quote unquote dies. Like,
Wanna know
that's
because
something?
Fives never finds out.
No?
I watched Clone Wars through the first time like a long time ago. Yeah. We watched it as kids, and then we rewatched it before season 7 happened. I completely forgot about the Citadel arc. I like that entire arc is gone from my mind. I don't remember it at all.
It's
I'm
so
like,
good, bro.
I'm rewatching Clone Wars again, and I'm hoping I'll actually like catch on to it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I
good.
It's
don't
worth the
remember
rewatches.
whatsoever. But yeah, Mark and Jack now they just
Yep.
they're kind of cringe. They kind of act the same way they did when I was a kid, and it's
Mm-hmm.
at least Mark like does like more. And Jack, they both have been doing some more kind of like grown up projects, like live action stuff and short films.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen like the In Space with Markiplier
Yeah,
thing?
uh-huh.
Did you go through that?
I didn't watch it all.
It was really fun and really well done for what it is. It was very slapstick humor. Like you choose the way the story goes, like through like different like links on YouTube, like a pick a story.
Yeah.
And it was really well done. I like that a lot. But it was like, other than that, I can't really watch his Let's Plays, especially when he jams 3 games in one video.
That's weird.
I hate that.
You know what I think is also weird? I think it's like strange. Like I don't understand the appeal of watching these Twitch streamers who have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of like devoted followers, and all they do for like 3 hours a day is pick videos to react to.
Yeah.
I don't understand the appeal of that.
YouTubers and Twitch streamers are so damn annoying.
And
Like,
they're
I
the most
can't
popular,
stand-
like by far.
They just log on to Twitch.
And all they do is
pull up
mooch off of
YouTube.
other people's
Yeah.
content.
So
Yeah.
one thing, because I listen to Chuckle Sandwich podcast a lot with Ted and Schlatt, and Schlatt was talking about how, because he did that with Video Game High School, because everybody was like, a whole trend was like, they were, one
Video
guy
Game
was
High School is a good show. What do you mean?
Oh no, he loves it. He was a
Oh,
big
yeah.
Freddie Wong fan. But people were like watching copyrighted stuff, and they would see how long they could go like to watch it without getting banned. But he asked Freddie Wong to watch it and everything. But they were talking about how Schlatt will he'll do streams where he'll play DayZ, and he'll like just do like stuff like that, and I like watching those a lot.
Well, yeah.
It's just like, it's not average gameplay, but like the chat will maybe have like at most like 50,000 people in it, but he does like a react thing. He's got like 200, 300,000 people watching like throughout the entire stream. It's not the fact that it's like, oh, this is scummy. It's what's getting views on Twitch right now, and they're cashing in on what's making them money. That's why you see it so much.
I'm just saying I think it's dumb. Like
Oh,
I
no.
don't see the appeal of it.
Oh no, it's definitely stupid, but it's making them so much
But
money. Why wouldn't you do it?
We're also wrinkle brains, and the world is full of smooth brains. So that our whole community is
That's
wrinkle
facts.
brains. We don't have any many smooth brains in our community.
Some of
But-
Schlatt's best content is he'll play a truck driving simulator and he'll drink the entire time. So he's just drinking and driving semi trucks.
Jesus.
And he gets really mad when he tips him over. It's so funny. So funny.
So Clone Wars.
Clone Wars!
So, this is
20
what-
minutes in!
We talked about Star Wars. So this is it's again, we have reached a famine, a famine of Star Wars content. So it's only about a few weeks this time around. So we
Yeah,
don't have to wait
not bad.
months and months.
It's only a
but
month.
we're fiending for some upper decky lip pillows and also
What'd you just say?
What?
Zin pouches, upper decky lip pillows. Bro, I'm fiending for a schmeef, bro. I'm trying
I
to
know what
fiend your
Zen
Joe.
is,
I
but
have
I've
no
never heard
idea.
it called that
Decky
before.
I
lip
have
pillow.
no idea what you're talking about.
Anyways, so do not, and I repeat, do not get involved with nicotine products.
Nope.
Do not.
Or are you talking about like those like
Yeah.
I just said.
And so we're doing weekly topics again, just a discussion topic
Yeah.
for us to talk about. So this week's discussion topic, we decided it was an idea we'd come up with a few weeks ago. It's my
This is
idea.
his idea.
This is we're gonna not analyze. We're just gonna talk about the 2003 Clone Wars versus the 2008 Clone Wars, and what each show did better than the other one. Because there's aspects of both that I like more than the one or the other. So,
Okay.
so let's. I'm just gonna dive right in. I'm just gonna say,
2008 did it
Diving
all
like
better.
Jaleel, bro.
what'd you just say to me?
Diving like Jaleel.
Dive in. Yep.
When I feel like blowing up, I'm a sliding.
Dude, you're gonna get
Hippo's
copyright
number
struck.
one song, and I was like,
Nuh-uh, no, it wasn't.
yes, it was. I said that on the Discord. It was his number one song. Was Diving by Jaleel. That's why I was like,
He will never live that down. I expect
What was your
nothing
top
less.
song?
It's a
Oh wait,
good
you don't
song.
use Spotify.
I use Apple Music.
He's poor.
Apple Music is literally
He's
for
poor.
peons, bro.
What do you mean?
Spotify is just way better.
Shut up, dude.
It
Shut up,
literally
shut up.
is.
Actually, shut up.
Do you get a Apple Music rewind? Do you get an Apple Music rewind, Tom?
Let's see. My top song apparently was Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. I never listened to that song once this year, so it must have been my other siblings who were on my Apple
Damn.
Probably
Music.
Logan. What was your number one song, Jackson?
I can look that up.
I Love You, I Hate You by Playboy Cardi.
How many times did you listen to it?
44, according to this, but I've definitely listened.
44?
My number one song in the year definitely was Classic J Dies and Go to Hell Part 1. That's like, I've listened to that almost every day. It cuts off at a certain point.
I listened to Cyberhex by Motionless in White 120 times.
I could see that.
And it came out like halfway through the year.
I listened to it like 70 times.
I love that song.
So Clone Wars. Yeah, so I'm going to say, here's my hot take. I think that the designs of the characters in the 2003 Clone Wars are cooler than the designs in 2008. And I'm talking about specific characters here. Captain Fordo, both Phase 1 and Phase 2, is cooler than Captain Rex Phase 1 and Phase 2. That is a hot take, and that's where I'm going to start off this conversation.
That is just
Tommy
absolutely wrong.
Pulling up with the tisms, bro.
Just
What
saying,
did
bro.
you just say?
Saying. I'm saying I think that Captain Fordo's designs, both for Phase 1 and Phase 2, is cooler than Captain Rex.
It's
I
just
really
a
disagree.
I disagree full. It's a regular ass
Disagree
clone with just
wholeheartedly,
red
man.
accents.
It's
There's
just-
nothing special about him.
It's cool in the show and he's iconic, but like in the Clone Wars, Rex is just a cooler character, not only by design but by personality. Fordo has no personality.
What bam?
I'm also going to come out and say if Rex and Fordo got in a fight, Fordo would
Nope.
kick his ass.
Nope.
No.
Rex
Fordo would
win.
kick his
Rex
ass.
would win, bro.
What would he do?
Any day of the
Cry?
week.
What would he do? Cry?
At least we have a canonical clone over here.
That's
An
facts.
almost
Canon
canonical clone
character.
for Fordo.
Canon
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Fordo's like
Nah,
Star
dude.
Killer, bro. Except Star Killer might actually be canon.
He is
at
canon
this-
now.
Yeah,
Star
it
Killer
is
is
canon
canon.
at this point, according to Star Wars, which is crazy.
That is I think that was my favorite news. So I can't wait to see him in Bad Batch season 2.
So why do you think that if Captain Rex and Fordo got in a fight, that
because
Captain
Rex
would
is
win?
literally just better. You see, the action in the 2003 Clone Wars is more stylized than the action in the 2008. It's just more stylized. It's supposed to be like in your face, like action. It's cool. Where at least 2008 Clone Wars is more realistic in a way. Yes, it's not completely realistic, but it's almost there.
You also have to think Captain Rex has gone through pretty much the entirety of the Clone Wars. He has way more strategic. It's in one of the final arcs of season 7 of the Clone Wars.
He writes the strategy.
He writes the strategies for the clones, and the only reason why the droids start winning is because they have Echo's
Echo.
brain feeding them what his plans are, because Rex's plans are that good. What Fordo got? Oh, Judy.
That's literally it.
I'm gonna say on Munilist, he did with like 10 dudes what an entire army could not achieve. So that's all I'm saying. It's just an opinion. That's my opinion.
And guess who gave him the orders to do it? Somebody else.
And I'm gonna say another one, and you guys will probably agree with me on this one. Obi-Wan's design, where he wears the clone armor in the 2003 Clone Wars, is cooler than 2008 Clone Wars.
It's cool, but I like 2008.
It's cool. Yeah, I agree. It's cool, but I think the design in 2008 makes a lot more sense for Jedi.
makes more sense, but the one in the 2003 I think is cooler.
When he's
I
on the
disagree.
bike, I'll give
Yeah.
it to you. When he's on the bike, yeah.
That costume specifically.
Yeah, that one's
I mean, it looks cool, but still, I think Clone Wars looks way better.
I don't know, dude, and I also like, and it's actually funny because the Hot Toys Anakin, you know how he comes with a cape?
Yeah.
That's in reference to the 2003 Clone Wars
Yeah,
because
I did
Obi-Wan
know that.
and Anakin had capes in Volume 2 of that show.
Oh.
And that's why, I mean, the armor is very similar. Not exact, obviously. Like, Obi-Wan has a Clone Trooper belt, and he's got Clone Trooper, like, boots in all the way through the Clone Wars show. Anakin is pretty similar in his design.
Interesting.
But then again, you could also say for that hot toy, it has the armor set most like Battlefront as well. So
True that.
It pulls reference from absolutely everywhere that we see Anakin and someone like that.
I like when they give all the options. Just give me the options for customization.
That.
See-
It's right there. It's an amazing figure. I love it.
I feel like the biggest thing that beats out the 2003 Clone Wars, though, in my opinion, is the story. It's
Yeah.
the fact that
Oh, yeah.
2003 is meant to just be stylized. Here's like a few blip points of what the Clone Wars could have been, where 2008
Well, at the time,
is
it's
the
what it
expansion.
was.
Yeah, that's what it was. But then 2008 is the expansion of this is what the Clone Wars was then.
I'm going to say another thing in favor of 2003. Most of what I'm going
Okay.
to say is in favor of 2003.
Because he's biased towards
I'm
2003.
biased towards it.
Most of the things Tommy's going to say today is incorrect. and
You're
that's
going to
okay.
agree with me on this one. General Grievous in the 2003 Clone Wars is way cooler and way better than the 2008 Clone Wars Grievous.
Yeah.
I mean, Grievous in 2008 has a couple moments in a couple episodes where he absolutely wrecks clone troopers, but you really don't see Grievous almost at all in that show kill any Jedi. Like, he kills Nadar Veb, he kills a couple other Jedi in the show, but, like, he doesn't really do any damage. Like, in the 2003 Clone Wars, that first appearance of Grievous, where he is fighting, I forget what the planet's name is, but he's fighting Kiadi Mundi, Shaak Ti, Ayla Secura, and Shagai, and a couple other Jedi.
Shaggy.
Like, he absolutely wrecks all of them. And it's like, this guy is actually a formidable opponent, and he's a good, like, big bad for the volume 2 of the show.
I agree, but I didn't really like some aspects of the Grievous in the 2003. Obviously, the voice is a huge off-put. When he speaks, it's
it's still Matt Wood, though. Same guy.
It is?
Mm-hmm. Same guy.
That's actually really
It's just
funny.
not, like, vocoded as much.
Yeah.
I hated
it was
during
weird,
the celebration when they asked him to do his Kylo Ren voice, and it was just...
That was cringe.
It was so bad.
That was cringe.
She's like, where
Matt
are
Wood,
they?
I love you, but that was cringe.
Matt Wood, would you like to come on the podcast?
That would be I would pee and poop and just, all over the floor.
Because then I would have to clean it.
Whoa. But you would, though.
No,
For
I
me, you would.
No.
I do think Grievous was way cooler, though. And he also had, like, way more abilities. Like, he was more believable as a Jedi killer. Like, I like in the 2008 show that Grievous is more of a coward. Like, and it gives him more personality in that way, and it matches up better with Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the 2003 Grievous, I like the white color more than the kind of, like,
The
bone
white is
color.
Mhm.
I think it's more like a chilling appearance to him.
That's bone.
Sicilian Braille.
Raised lettering.
See something?
Let's see Paul Allen's Grievous.
See, something that I wish they did end up showing in the 2008 Clone Wars was eventually how Anakin got his scar, because we know in 2003 it's from Ventress, but then
It's not from Ventress. And again, I don't expect you to know all this because I have seen the show a million times.
I've watched it once all the way through.
There's in the volume 2 of the show, which is Anakin with his longer hair.
Mhm.
There's a montage of different points where Anakin and Padme get to see each other throughout the war. You see the war escalating. Battle droids
There's one day where he just comes back with the scar. And she's like,
yeah.
Oh wait, really?
He just shows up on Coruscant with a scar one day.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't think it's in that Master and Apprentice
Well,
book.
and
It might
Anakin,
be. The
no, it's
Brotherhood.
not.
I'm talking about
in
the
the
Brotherhood
Brotherhood.
book. It might be. I only went through it once.
Because Anakin had his scar from the get-go in 2008. He always had the scar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even in the movie, he had
Yeah.
the scar.
Mhm.
So,
Weird.
it's super weird.
I guess I just wanted an explanation for it.
I'm assuming it's from Ventress.
Because we know Wolf has his from Ventress.
Well, it's funny, too, because with the Clone Wars shows, especially in the first couple seasons, the intention was for the 2003 to still be canon and for the 2008 series to work around it. And then they started retconning stuff as they got deeper into the 2008 series, such as Ventress is already an introduced character, and it's implied that she already fought Anakin on Yavin 4, and that's why they're familiar with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they did in the 2003 series. And there's other stuff too. That's why they don't show the Battle of Coruscant in the 2008 Clone Wars, because that is implied in the 2003, but then they retconned it completely with how that interaction happens.
Mm-hmm.
Which I prefer the 2008 version in that way. I think that it works better because it's more central on Ahsoka's story, and she didn't exist at all in the 2003 show.
She wasn't even an idea yet.
And that's it. That's another plus of 2008 Clone Wars. Is Ahsoka is one of the GOAT characters of Star Wars.
Yeah.
She is a fantastic character. Shout out to Dave Filoni for
Facts.
creating her.
Another thing that I think, dude, I always notice new details on this figure that Lungy's Hideout made me. Shout out to Lungy's Hideout, like the paint detail on the holsters.
Shout out Lungy's Hideout.
Anyways,
It me.
it me.
Screw that guy.
I really like Dirge though. Dirge he's my #1 wanted Black Series figure right now, and I'm hoping with the Clone Wars 20th we'll get him. But Dirge was just such a cool bounty hunter and such a good villain, especially for someone who had to fight Obi-Wan, who was one of the central heroes of the 2003 Clone Wars, because that show only really focused on Anakin and Obi-Wan. So to have a formidable opponent that wasn't just another Sith was really good.
I don't read the comics, but I know Dirge is canon now.
And Dr. Aphra.
And Dr. Aphra. But then my question is does he just spawn into the Star Wars universe at that point, or has he existed beforehand and we just don't see the interaction?
And again, it's weird because in certain ways, it's implied that certain things that happen in the 2003 Clone Wars are canon.
Yeah.
It's implied in certain ways, and I feel like with these new Star Wars shows that are coming out, one of them would be a perfect opportunity to bring Dirge into the fray. Specifically the Mandalorian or the Book of Boba
Bad
Fett,
Batch
you know, even Bad Batch. Yeah, give them, that would be a very formidable opponent for them to fight.
Yeah. But you want to know who would be even more formidable? Starkiller.
Starkiller would wipe the floor with the Bad Batch. He's too strong for the Bad Batch.
I honestly think Starkiller is going to be in Bad Batch.
If he is, they have to introduce Ahsoka into the Bad Batch. That's my opinion. Because if you're going to have an extreme Force user, you're going to have somebody that can fight him. Because the Bad Batch realistically just would not be able to fight Starkiller.
I kind of hope at this point he isn't.
They got Gunji.
They got
my boy Gunji.
Because we talked about that last time too, how the armor in Luthen's shop is Starkiller's.
It is, yep.
Yeah, because
Jacob, there's another helmet in Luthen's shop. So there's the one that's like the decorative one with the spikes on it, and then in the back room there's just literally just Starkiller's helmet without the spikes, just sitting on the like a box.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's crazy to think about.
But it is called Sith Infiltrator armor. It's real. So
yeah, that makes me very good.
It's real.
Another plus of 2008 Clone Wars. There would be no Bad Batch without 2008.
That's
Clone
facts.
That's very facts. That's very facts. I will give you that.
We wouldn't have all the awesome arcs and fleshed out characters like 99.
Then again, though, ARC Troopers probably wouldn't have been a thing in 2008 if they weren't introduced in such a central part of the 2003 series.
That's another good point as well.
That's a good point, but let me hit you with this. Nobody would have cared about clones as much as they do now without the Clone Wars TV show.
I don't know, dude. I'm going to kind of debate you on that one.
Well, I think the biggest thing was what? You'd have people that grew up just before you did and before we did that grew up seeing the movies in theaters, and they would be the only ones really into it. And then like what? We may have seen it like the special on TV and thought, oh, that's cool. But we were brought up by the 2008 Clone Wars. You have to remember that. At least Jackson and I were. There's no way we would have all this and have this podcast right now if it wasn't for that show.
I feel like that's a different perspective because, like, I grew up with both. Like, some of my oldest memories of Star Wars are sitting with the DVD copies. That's right. Half of you probably don't even know what a DVD is anymore. And plugging that sucker into the Blu-ray player. I bet some of you guys don't know what a Blu-ray player is.
I'll give you context. It's an Xbox One.
Actually, if you Google Blue Waffle, you'll be able to
do not look that up.
I went to Perkins and they had this new dish called the Blue Waffles.
Do not look that up.
Actually,
Google Blue Waffles.
The 1313 podcast does not condone you looking up sources that Jacob and Tommy falsely claim are different things.
Look it up. No, what? Don't look it up. You're not gonna like it. Don't look it up. Ben Taylor, I'm looking at you. Don't look it up.
Don't, bro, please.
Doing my Giga Chad face at you. I will say though, one time at Walmart, I was shopping with my roommates and we found actual blue waffles. They were blue raspberry flavored mermaid waffles, and so we bought them because it was the idea of having blue waffles. They were really good too. I won't even cap. They were really good.
So
but they were really expensive. It was like a box of 8 of them for like $8.
That is an expensive thing.
Dude.
Yeah, they were really good though, I will say.
See, I definitely feel like, sorry, now I'm kind of going back to Clone Wars discussion. ARC Troopers have a better representation in the 2003 than the 2008 because you see them more in action. You know,
but again,
yes, Fives does become an ARC Trooper and so does Jesse, but they only do certain things here and there. And then you see the ARC Troopers train other clones on Kamino. But then other than that, there's no like individual like high recon ARC Trooper missions. Same with Clone Commandos as well. They're literally just in the
Bad
background.
Batch. It's literally the Bad Batch.
So I think though that that's a point where the two shows complement each other because the 2008 doesn't have to put such an emphasis on what the arcs can do because people who have seen 2003 Clone Wars already know what ARC Troopers are capable of being able to do.
Fair.
So that's kind of how I see it.
Another thing that makes the 2008 Clone Wars better than the 2003 is it is fully developed, full-form storytelling that goes beyond cool fight scenes and just looking stylized and cool. Clone Wars makes you laugh, makes you be like, whoa, and it makes you cry. And it's very good at making you feel all the emotions that you would feel throughout an actual war. Where just as 2003 is just like, oh, this is so cool, this looks so cool. Where there's a lot more emotional depth and a lot more things that really stick with you and lessons to be learned in the 2008 Clone Wars.
I do like a lot that the 2008 Clone Wars had the quotes at the front of every episode.
Yep,
I will
the
say
quotes
that.
are dope.
Some of them didn't make sense, but they were at least there was an effort there, like to have some sort of message.
My favorite was when the title card just starts rolling here.
Skibbity dop 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 dop. Yes, 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 yes. Skip skibbity skip skibbity double. Yes, 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 yes. Go check out Tika's Trading Post episode 15. It's right here in the corner of the screen.
Skibbity dop 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 dop. Yes, yes.
You
So
get fun with that song is and just listen to it on repeat
I got it. I already got it.
on Spotify.
No, bro, we're gonna get copyright struck again. We have like a third of our videos are copyright struck.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean we just can't. They can't be monetized.
Mhm.
Bro, please don't play it, bro.
Okay,
please
don't actually play.
By
Jake.
Bizer King, it's called Dom Dom Yes Yes. Or
Anyways,
Busier King, I don't know.
so another wonderful thing that I like more about the 2003 Clone Wars is that it had more large scale battles. I think the scale of the sheer numbers, and again, 2003 was limited, or 2008 was limited to budget when you come to CG rendering every individual thing. And in season 7, I loved, it's a Naxos. The planet is called a Naxos.
Yes.
And where they have so many battle droids, like the most you've ever seen in the Clone Wars ever. And to me, that was almost on par with like the Battle of Coruscant in 2003, because that battle sequence to me from, and I could go into this. I could go way into this, but I'll start with just this one point. The 2003 Clone Wars does a better job of showing the scale of the conflict, because you literally can see hundreds of thousands of clone troopers and hundreds of thousands of battle droids going head to head. And there's all these little like montage moments of like clone trooper helmet getting crushed by a super battle droid's foot, and then like a super battle droid getting eviscerated by blaster bolts, and then Mace Windu just haymakering a super battle droid. The next one is a clone trooper getting flung into the air with a lightsaber slash through his chest. Like, to me, I think that the battles were cooler in 2003 than 2008.
I guess I really do disagree. Sure, there's an axis on season 7, but then think about every other major battle in the Clone Wars. You have Umbara, you have Ryloth, you have so many other...
The opening of the Clone Wars movie.
Yes, the opening of the Clone Wars movie is a
That clone said.
Yes, it isn't like a large-scale traditional battle where it's two gigantic forces going at each other. In my opinion, that's just unrealistic for what Star Wars was. It was more based on urban combat than traditional warfare as well. So, I mean, while it is cool in 2003, it's just, really? You got a square versus another square charging at each other. And then, yeah, there's the cool shots here and there, but at least in 2008, there was realism and depth to those battles then.
I also agree with that. Clone Wars not only... Again, it made battles cool, but it also added tension to the battles rather than just be like, this shot's cool, this shot's cool, this shot's cool. There's stakes in each battle. Like, there's characters that you know rather than just nameless, faceless clones all fighting each other.
That's fair. That's fair. Another point, and I don't think this one can be contested. The 2003 Clone Wars had a cooler battle than most battles in 2008, with the battle above Coruscant, where Saesee Tiin is with Captain Fordo and a bunch of clones, and they fly through space from the downed Venator over to a Separatist dreadnought and take it over from the inside out.
You know
That
when they
was
did
one
that
of
in
the-
2008, though?
Bro, don't even say the Malevolence arc. Don't even say that.
The Malevolence are...
They definitely did that as well in 2008.
Oh, bro, because 2 clones and Plo Koon shooting 5 battle droids.
I'm not talking
is
about
so
that.
much
I'm talking about when
cooler.
Anakin goes into space, bro. You don't remember that?
When they
take
drop the
ATTEs.
No,
Yes, bro.
that's not cool.
That is
That's
literally
not cool.
awesome.
You must not have watched...
ATTE in space, cat, bro.
Listen,
Again,
bro.
it's unrealistic again.
All right, I'm going to need you guys in the comments to back me up on this particular point, because I think that's absolutely absurd. You can't actually tell me that them dropping a single ATTE on a Separatist
There
ship...
was like 3 of them.
There was a bunch of them.
I swear to God, it was only 1.
It was not one.
A couple, and they were hiding on an asteroid.
I remember that.
That was a
too.
different episode.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
different
pretty sure
episode. That's the one where R2 gets lost.
I'm just saying, Jacob.
Rip the homie R2D2.
But bro, you're telling me Stacey Tin puts on his custom clone trooper helmet, drops the mask, and says, "Prepare to board, HUD," and then they fly through space with their jetpacks, land on the dreadnought. You have clones on the dreadnought shooting at the turbo lasers to distract the droids inside, while Stacey Tin goes in with a bunch of the clones and takes over the ship from the inside out. That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, dude.
2008 did it better.
No, they didn't, bro.
Yeah,
You
they
can't
did.
tell me they did.
Yeah, they
dude.
did.
That
You
is-
remember? Umbara, live to fight another day, boys. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
bro.
compare. That's
Yeah,
completely
it-
different.
it
That is
compares.
completely different.
It had the emotional turmoil of battle, Tom. The emotional turmoil of battle.
I feel like that's one point where the shows are completely different because the only characters that the 2003 show really focuses on developing are Anakin and Obi-Wan because they were directly preparing for the release of Revenge of the Sith. So they wanted you to have a better chance of getting to know Anakin and Obi-Wan during the war so that when you walk into Revenge of the Sith, you're not like, "Oh, wait, all they did was argue the last movie. 3 years have passed, they're like brothers now?" That doesn't make much sense. But whereas the 2008 Clone Wars gets a retrospective. They get to look back at things that have already come out, listen to complaints that have already come, and go, "Oh, we'll just do this, this, and this."
Check me out. Worst part of the 2003 Clone Wars? The mole people, bro. The mole people.
You're talking about the Incredibles right now?
What?
No, you're talking about the blue people?
Yeah.
The
No
mole
way, bro.
things?
That was
bro,
so
those
cool.
are the big fat mole things that are like enhanced and like
That's literally
nasty.
That is the reason that the Echo arc with the Bad Batch is a thing, is because that idea was borrowed from 2003 Clone Wars because Wat Tambor and the Techno Union were
The Techno
doing
Union.
experiments on organic people.
Or you could just, I don't know, take that idea from the $1 Million Man or RoboCop.
The
moles.
No, it was
The
in Star Wars it was directly taken from
moles.
2003. I will die on that hill.
The moles be like,
And then they rip off their robot arms to show that they're not
start splooging
controlled
news
by
everywhere.
machinery.
And all their wives are like, my husband's ugly now.
And then Anakin force crunches one of the Techno Union and makes his tubes pop out of his face. That was dope. Or when Mace Windu literally gives Grievous his cough by giving him a force crunch on his chest.
See, that's something I wish stayed in 2008 as well and wasn't like a potentially implied event or something. I wish that was expanded upon in some way, shape, or form.
Because again, it's the same thing as the Anakin scar. I wish it was something that either would have happened midway through the show or was like shown how it happened. Because again, it's a character trait that everyone associates with Grievous, and you never know why he has it. I like it better that there's a reason that he coughs in 2003.
No, yeah. I like, again, the idea that there's the explanation of that somewhere of like, this is potentially why it could have happened. But again, it isn't canon. So what are you going to do?
I will say though, Across the Stars is a very big theme in the 2003 show, and that is one of the most beautiful songs to ever grace my ears.
Oh no, that is definitely John Williams' like goated song.
I think John Williams actually composed the soundtrack for the 2003 Clone Wars. Let me fact check myself on that. Because
Couldn't
that would
tell
be
you, but yeah,
something
Across the
that would be
Stars?
something that 2003 has over 2008 all day, is that if John Williams did, I mean, in general I think it's better because it's more of an orchestral, thing going on.
I agree as well.
Jacob, are you also fact checking this?
I'm getting it.
What do you got? He's got nothing.
He did. What? He's credited for the Clone Wars and
He's
the Bad Batch.
He's credited for the motifs that are presented in those. The composer
Oh.
for 2003 was James L. Vanderbilt Paul Dingler.
Dingler. Automatic L for 2003 Clone
Oh
Wars.
my god,
Automatic
bro.
L.
Oh my god.
Automatic
These
L.
guys are
Denzel
biased because they
Vanderpump
haven't watched it more than
Didn't
once.
I've seen...
I've watched it like 7 times.
I will have
bro.
you know that I used to watch the scene with the ARC troopers fighting on that planet to different montages of Skillet. and
I'll have
3
you
Days
know,
Grace.
I watched. I
no,
watched.
that can't be true.
I
That
watched-
can't be true.
Are you serious? AMV.
That's
bro.
not true. That's impossible.
I'll go one better, Tom. I watched AMVs of Sonic Unleashed to Skillet in 3 Days Grace in
So-
5th grade.
What Jacob and I were doing right there, I want that to be the cover for our fanfic.
Yeah, you guys
which
want-
actually, guys, I need you all to know
No.
that Jacob and I are requesting a fanfic about me and Jacob, and it needs to be narrated from the perspective of Jackson. That's what needs to
And
happen.
then we'll make an audiobook of
I
it.
We will
will
make an
not
audiobook,
read
and
that.
Jackson will be in it, and Mark Thompson will be in it
not.
too.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. You can either make Jackson the narrator or just have some random ass narrator. I would
No,
narrate the
it should
entire
be
thing.
it should be Thrawn. It should be Thrawn.
I will somebody write this and I will make it a Patreon exclusive. I will narrate the whole damn
We will
thing.
pay to have someone animate it.
I can't
too.
We will
believe you.
animate it. I will narrate
You
it.
won't animate it.
No, I got animation major friends. I got a friend that does stop motion and she does it very well.
It could be our Black Series figures.
Yo,
You gotta get the selfie series, bro. Give it that extra
Now
punch.
I have to get the selfie series.
Now you have to. You gotta make
get
sure
that punch.
they like to
I
go
can't
home to
believe this is
punch.
happening, bro.
It's in the internet now. Go spread this to all your
No!
fanfic writing friends.
Don't do this. We have to have at least one right.
And it was on this day the 1313 community became cringe.
We're not gonna have...
Can we have the like the Septiplier stuff?
I don't want our podcast to become Christery, bro. Every single day is another cringe moment that's like documented in history. You remember that?
You're talking like the...
Sonichu?
Jackson's gonna be a Christorian, dude.
He's the second most documented man alive. I think other
That's
than
insane to
Hitler
think
and
about.
Jesus.
Dude, I am just... Anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. But again, say something.
Let us know what you think in the comments below as to which one you think is better, whether you think it's the doo-doo garbage 2003 or the
That's
absolute...
That's I almost just really just... That's really bad.
absolutely goated with the sauce 2008 Clone Wars.
Listen, bro, if you... Again, I really, at the end of the day, I don't think that the shows are completely comparable because they
No.
are doing two completely different things. One is considered a micro series and the other one's considered a full-fledged show.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it really just comes down to your preference as to what you like more.
Mm-hmm.
I love the 2008 Clone Wars. I don't want to get that misconceived or misconstrued. I really don't. I love the 2008 Clone Wars. My costume for the 501st is literally a clone from the 2008 Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
I just happen to like 2003 more because of my nostalgia.
Tom likes Bofa.
I like Bofa D's.
Clone Wars is... Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the 1313 podcast. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know which Clone Wars you like more in the comments below. And if you haven't already, join the Discord so you can fully fledge into this discussion on the Discord because it's
Facts.
bound to happen. Also, if you haven't already, follow us on all our social media.
Social amoebas.
Social amoebas, yep.
We got Flagella. We got Radiolarians. No, so we got Instagram.
We got Balchinians in there.
We got Instagram, Twitter,
Love it.
TikTok. Make sure that you follow us on all of those. And if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the podcast, support us on Patreon. Gungan Boss tier giveaway. Amazingness. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the podcast. And we see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody!
Bye.
Dun 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 dun.
Hum da da hum da da hum dum dum da. Hum da da hum da da dum dum da dum da ba do ba do ba do ba do Ba-do-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-do-ba-dum, ba-do-ba-dum-dum. Hum-da-dum, hum-da-dum, hum-dum-dum-dum, hum-dum, hum-dum-da-dum, hum-da-dum, hum-dum-dum-dum. Hey, hum-da-dum-dum-dum-dum. Hum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum-dum.